All right, we got Dave Fawcett here, Inside Nova sports editor, recent Best in Show award-winning writer from the Virginia Press Association. Hat tip, kudos to you on that, Dave. So we absolutely could not have a better person here to sit with us and chat about this weekend's NFL draft. It's April, so I guess we're talking football here. I'm an NBA guy. This is prime time for me, but I guess we're gonna chat some football. So, Dave, we have three players or I'm sorry, two players looking to hopefully be selected in this weekend's draft. Two players in day three. That's why I got the two and three mixed up. I think we're looking at them going Saturday in the draft. Dave laid out for us who are these fellas and what could we see them do on the big stage, biggest football.
Sure, sure. So we have Garfield graduate Bishop Fitzgerald and Battlefield graduate Wesley Williams are both slated to go, like you said, probably Saturday. It's the last day of the draft, rounds 4 through 7, just based on, I think, all the draft analysts and stuff. That's kind of where they're expected to go. It's just a question of to what team and when. Both those guys have kind of been in this position. They didn't really come out of nowhere based on, what they were doing in college primarily. So it was just a question of, just, where they would go. They went, they did a lot of the all-star games type of stuff. They went to the East-West Shrine Bowl, which is an invitation, the NFL Combine, which is invitation. That's always a big deal. Obviously did their pro days, and then they also did the Washington Commanders local pro day, which they open up to, kids who are from somehow connected to the area. So, yeah, it's definitely a big day. Battlefield's never had since the school was open in 2004, they've never had an NFL draft pick. So Wesley will definitely be number one there. And Bishop will be the first one from Garfield since 2009 when the Giants took a linebacker in the second round named Clinton Sintum. So, definitely very
I didn't
excited for
realize
them.
this will be almost certainly be Battlefield's, assuming he's selected, this will be Battlefield's first NFL selection. That's really exciting. It's surprising for me, given just it's a pretty prominent and has been a force in the local football season, especially recently.
Right.
And now he is the one who he could have, yeah, Wesley Williams, he had another year of eligibility left. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
He had the option of either coming back for one more year of college if he wanted to, or he could turn pro because he was. I think the rule is as long as you're 3 years removed from your high school graduation year, you're eligible. And so, yeah, he graduated in 2022 from Battlefield. So, yeah, he was in that position. Bishop was out of eligibility. He spent this past season at University of Southern California, but I'm not sure. He was already. I mean, both those guys were ready. I mean, I think they were ready to go, whether they had eligibility or not.
Yeah.
This was, they were
And now
really
tell us about their games a little bit. We'll start with Williams.
sure.
What is he? What are kind of really his strong points on the
Sure.
field?
And I think anyone who's known him even since his middle school days
Yeah,
would
as you
probably
noted in your story this week.
see the same thing with him. Certainly, it starts with his physical makeup. He's always been,
Mhm.
big and fast. So he's had the physical makeup
And
there.
remind us his position.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a defensive end primarily. He's got this option where he's an edge rusher. He could, in the NFL, he could go, be a hybrid, be a linebacker or a edge rusher, or just be one or the other. But he's got, because he's so quick, he's so and the size that he has, he's got this very relentless motor. He's just always on the go, always making plays in some way. I think the other thing with him too, his character is something that seems to stand out a lot to anyone. And I've certainly dealt with him enough too, where you can see that he's very mature beyond his years. He's a leader. He's been an honor roll student both at Battlefield and he went his down at Duke. He's just a kid, I think, and I certainly attribute that primarily to his parents'
Mhm.
priorities in the right place. And so everything he does is done the right way with the
Yeah.
right mindset. So that's kind of his thing. I think when Bishop, he was a two-way player primarily at Garfield. I think most people, when they think of him, I know I do, I think of him as a quarterback, but and he was very good at that. But he also was a very good safety, and so that became his position going forward once college entered the picture. That's what people saw him more effective at. He was always good, even in his youth youth football days. He was very good at coverage. He was very good at just getting to the ball. He was very tough to beat. To get
Mhm.
either get past or get over. He just was made those types of plays. And same thing, very grounded kid, a good leader, somebody that just people respond to and gravitate to, and just kind of goes out there and does his job. So the combination of all those things, and they've excelled. I mean, they both were very successful in college. Bishop was a consensus All-American this past season at USC. Wesley has been honorable mention All ACC. So
Yeah.
you kind of
And
put
I,
all those
I
things
can't remember
together.
if we said Wesley's at Duke. He's coming out of
Yes,
Duke.
yes,
Right.
yes.
I
So
know
that,
it almost feels silly to say, but I'm looking at the story here this week and looking at him at the draft combine. He seems to have an energy, kind of a magnetism about him, just this
yeah,
big smile.
good word.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I think anyone who said that billion-dollar smile, definitely um, very personable, very approachable. And I would say the same thing, yeah, about Bishop as well. They're just good kids on top
yeah.
of being very good athletes.
And
Yeah,
we know these teams, these billion-dollar franchises, they're investing money. They want to know the person as well as the
bet.
athlete.
And it
So
doesn't
that
matter
could play to these guys' favor, assuming
whether you're
everything you say is
right.
correct.
Right. Whether you're going the first round, seventh round, doesn't matter. It's an investment, and they want to make sure, right?
Mhm.
They're doing all their due diligence. So I know even Greg Hatfield, who coached Wesley at Battlefields, had a number of NFL teams come through just to talk to him about, hey, tell us about this kid. So they're definitely doing their due diligence and then some.
Right. Is there, beyond kind of their prowess on the field, their personality off, what any kind of other really intriguing tidbits or storylines
Yeah,
about
I
both of
think what
these?
kind of, for me anyway, what intrigued me about Bishop is that, in this day and age, and this has been for a number of years, everyone gets kind of caught up in recruiting rankings and, get
For
believing
sure.
that's, going to be indicative of whether a kid's how he's going to play in college or maybe he's going to make it in the NFL. And, here's a kid that had no stars. He was lightly recruited out of Garfield.
Yeah.
Um, and now he put himself in that position because he's worked hard. He's done the things he's supposed to do. It wasn't easy for him to give up playing quarterback in college, but he understood if he was going to get to that next level, he had to, play on defense at safety. So I thought that was kind of just a good reminder that, all these, metrics that are measuring sticks that are used, there's no guarantee.
Right.
And so, yeah, you might have a five-star who never even pans out in college or makes the NFL, and then you got a kid like Bishop, didn't have any stars, and yet he's going to be an NFL draft pick.
And
I
kind
think
of
the thing
human
with
nature, we always find ourselves
well,
pulling for the underdog like that. It's
yeah,
like no one gave him a
that,
shot.
right. And so he's only supposed to. I think with Wesley, I think most saw him as a kid who was going to be in this position even early on. But what I think what jumped out to me was, going back to what we talked about earlier, he's a kid that had the option of coming back. And of course, this is another big recent thing with all the NIL money and all the transfer portals and these kids, this is sort of unthinkable now, or years ago, but now it's the way it is. Kids can make more money staying in
Yeah.
college
Yeah.
than they can going pro. So they do weigh that out. And certainly Wesley had, some considerations there to make. He certainly could have stayed at Duke, also gone, to some other colleges and probably been able to cash in. But he made that conscious decision that I'm not here for the NIL. I'm not here to bolster my stats. I'm here I've always wanted to be a pro player, and this is what I want to do, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I think that was the thing that with him that really jumped out at me. I don't know how much you hear that, especially now when you see so much jumping around and looking to
Yeah.
go to this school, that school for money. He just like, I'm good. So
And he was at Duke his whole career, right? Yeah, again,
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
rarity these days in college football.
correct. Yeah, he's a loyal kid too. I'd put that describe him that way as well. I mean, he's academics are very important for him. He comes from a family of educators, so doing that. But on top of that, yeah, I mean, he's been through, I think 3 coaching changes down there,
Mhm.
um, and yet, right, it still mattered to him. He kind of did what he had to do down there. He graduated early. Got his degree in December, so he sat there. So I think most and everyone who even Duke, his coaches said, "Look, you're ready. You're ready to go." So anyway, he was, yeah, it just
Gotcha.
ready to go.
And then just there, we have a few other local athletes, local upbringing athletes who may not get drafted, but definitely still have a spot to kind of catch on to some rosters for a rookie season. Who are those? Run through those quickly for us.
Sure. Right. So once the draft's over, then these teams can start signing kids, as undrafted rookie free agents. I think the biggest one to keep an eye on is Patriot grad Jalen Stroman. He's kind of a bubble guy. He could get drafted late, or if not, he will definitely be one of those priority free agents. He's a safety, started at Virginia Tech, finished up at Notre Dame. His brother Greg's a former uh, Washington Red Commanders NFL draft pick. I think he's the primary one. Some other ones maybe to keep an eye out for would be a Garfield grad, Mason Woods, Woodbridge grad named Kyer Duplessis, and offensive lineman, actually also a Patriot named Ja'Kai Moore, who finished up this season at North Carolina. I think they're in the mix, but certainly I think Jalen for sure is going to get a shot one way or the other,
Gotcha.
whether it's through the draft pick or a training camp, or excuse me, a free agent contract.
Gotcha. Just looking at these names here. Really good football names. Bishop Fitzgerald. I mean, that guy, he's just born to be big time. Bishop Fitzgerald. Dave, thank you so much. Let's, keep an eye out. I know I'll be kind of tuned in for a good chunk of all the days. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on Saturday on the third day. I know you'll have stories up on InsideNova.com running through these selections. So local Northern Virginia, Prince William football fans, keep your ears out for Bishop Fitzgerald out of Garfield High School, and USC, Wesley Williams from Duke, who is poised to be the first ever Battlefield High School NFL draft selection, which is a really great storyline for Prince William County. Dave, any final thoughts?
Oh, it's just going to be exciting. It's exciting for those kids because this only happens once, and so I
Yeah,
know they've got their. I'm sure they're nervous, they're
right.
anxious, but they're really looking forward to it, and their families as well. So good luck to them.
Lifelong dream fulfilled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Thanks so much, Dave. And then we have to wait, what, five more months to get real football and get back on the
Right.
field, which is
It'll be here
devastating.
soon
But
enough.
yeah. All right. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Check out Inside Nova, InsideNova.com. We've got our Facebook rolling, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we will see you soon, Dave. Thanks.
Thank you.